Okay, today's video we're talking about special offer, call for special offer basically. You want your advertising to get people excited by having right there on your ad, call for a special offer, and get people thinking, wonder what their special offer is. Whatever. And then, oh, I gotta find out what it is. And then ultimately call. Got enough of one step forward from them to get into your sales process, and then you got them. I'm going to explain that whole system, how that actually can get you a bunch more results on your PPC campaign. Actually, how to exactly implement this the way, after all my testing, you're going to be able to get these same kind of results for yourself and walk away from the video with an absolute working strategy that works today. It will work for you, regardless of whether or not you're doing services, basically, or even e-commerce companies that sell products. There's a way, I bet a little different way to just do it for product versus a service, but it'll work for any of you guys out there, and I'll explain the differences there. So again, you will have a working strategy to walk away from, and by offering some language, essentially call for special offer on your ads, on your landing pages, and get upwards of 200% more results on your PPC campaigns, i.e. 200% more profit on your PPC campaigns today without having to change anything else besides doing this one thing. Call for special offer. Here we go. So to get started with though, people hate the unknown psychologically. PPC in marketing in general, half of it's math, half of it's user psychology. You have to understand both real well to do well. People hate not knowing what is to come. They hate and fear death because they're afraid of death. They are afraid of whether it's criminals or diseases the most because it's scary because it's unknown. Oh, is it going to get me? Is it not going to get me? And they're irrational about it, right? So that whole psychological, if you want a good way to make your PPC ads work better, you understand human psychology and you tap in and you exploit those individual things, as bad as that sounds. One of which is people hate the unknown. We are going to tap into the fear of the unknown, and not so much the fear, but they just people in general hate the unknown, to be able to make our PPC strategy that we're using today make more sales. So how do we do that? By making a whole new offer on our PPC ads, which you should always have an offer on your PPC ads. You don't know how to make an offer, I have other videos on this channel that talk about making an offer on your PPC ads and landing pages to make them work better, whether it's 10% off this weekend only, or buy one, get one, to make whatever you have and the person what they're naturally already interested in even more interested, therefore it makes more money. In this case, this is an offer, a different type of offer that basically you can offer that's like that or in that category of that kind of PPC strategy. You're making a different kind of offer here. You're going to be making it on your ad and your landing pages both to let customers, or could be clients or whatever you want to call them, donors, know what they might be missing out on. So going back to what I said here, people hate the unknown. They fear the unknown, but in this case, more so, we're talking about they hate the unknown. If you tell the person that we're offering a discount, but you aren't going to be able to know until you finally call me, you're going to get more calls. More calls, if you have a good sales process set up right, more money. And so, yes, I will admit, starting out this, if you want the extra 100% increase in sales this could potentially get, and does get it in a lot of cases, you got to think, you have to do a little bit more in terms of your sales process. Ultimately, you're going to have to speak to a few more people, but it's so profitable that even if you had somebody else to help you talk to these people and train them, you're still going to end up with more money. So, respectively, this is as easy as it gets in terms of implementation, past what you have to do to just start talking to people. And as a side, if you're running an e-commerce business and you're expecting not to talk to people, what's the difference between, why would they not go to Amazon? your differentiator is your level of service. Amazon offers none, Walmart offers none. You do, therefore they're going to go with you. Of course, you can offer a unique quality product, but it's hard for people to know that, even if you stamp quality all over your stuff. Putting warranty on your site or guarantee, that helps, but it's not as much as getting that personal touch with the user. Okay? And for service companies, expecting people to fill out your contact form, that's just idiotic. You're going to lose like 2/3 of your leads that way. Most people know inherently not to do that, versus on the e-commerce side, I see lots of amateurs out there expecting not to talk to people and to be competitive with people who will on Google search, what have you, where you'll lose half of your customers that way by not be willing to talk to people. So anyway, you're going to tell people though to generate and drum up more interest, therefore more business, by telling people that we have a special offer that on your ad, and it's basically only good today or this week. But you have to call for what the special offer is, or call with more so what the discount's going to be. If you can say discount, that can a lot of times work better than just what the call for a special promotion. You can actually test that. What actually in your industry is going to work the best for you. But they get more people then to click through. You say it on your landing page, they're going to respond at a higher rate. You're going to have more sales opportunities, then therefore you'll make more money through more sales, but closing them down, getting them the rest of the way over and off the fence to making a purchase decision and slapping down the money. Now, what kind of results can you actually get by doing this? Before I give you the exact strategy that you could take away from this video and use today, I told you that this works for e-commerce companies or service companies. I haven't done this as much as I'd like to. I've mentioned this quite a bit. At Guarantee PPC, I have a PPC management company that I own here. I work with the clients directly. And when we're looking, it's always about what's the next thing that's going to get the next best PPC results. And I throw out the idea, basically I say, okay, here's where we're at now. The next thing we can do to increase results, because you can't do everything at once. And you could think of PPC as a process that takes years of stacking gains on top of gains on top of gains on top of gains, and adding more depth to your strategy in general. Sub-segmenting, split testing certain offers, landing pages to add more depth, and try to speak to people on a more individualized level at all times. And yet, on more depth you add, the better results you typically get. But I'll throw out there, why don't we do I a lot of times call it grab bag offer. I don't know if they still have it out there today. When I was a kid in the grocery store, going shopping with my mom, I remember they always had grab bags. They had paper bags with goods in it, and they were closed, and they would be like $3 for a grab bag. And the idea being, you don't know what's in there, so therefore you're excited to buy it, whether or not it's probably 50 cents worth of crap. We never did buy those. Why do people bid on storage sheds? When people don't buy the rent, they auction off the contents. They could make more money by auctioning off the contents, even though they don't want to do it. But if they could make more money opening it up, looking through, and then selling it to somebody like a pawn shop, they would. They get more money with the thrill, but also I got to know what's in there, and so it's actually two elements in there. Especially when people are bidding over each other, and adds mystery to the process. This is kind of similarly how you're tapping into this. In terms of user psychology and the hack that you have in the user psychology. Anyway, getting off track here, I throw that idea out there and people don't often want to do it because it's kind of like, they feel like it's kind of sketchy most of the time. But I had one client specifically in the e-commerce space, the school suppliers. So they sell school, not like for parents buying for their kids like pencils and stuff like retail, but like wholesale / like a distributor to the schools themselves, the desks, lockers, all that kind of stuff that a school basically needs to be in business, if you want to call it that, be in business. So what compels a person to buy it from one school desk supplier if I'm looking for desks over another? I don't really give a crap because it's not my money. If it breaks, who gives a crap? It's not, it's not my money. Like I said, what I do like to do is get praised for getting a good deal, right? And I've got time. I mean, I'm a government worker. No offense to anybody, but I'm a government worker. I got the time. In this case, it was perfect. Not to say you have to have a sweet situation like this for this to work for you. It will work different for different markets in terms of how much more profit you get. You always get some, almost every single time. You want to say 90% of the time you will get more profit from this if you're willing to do it. We're offering a special discount promo this month on our equipment. Call for special offer, and using that to instigate more calls, therefore more sales to the specific company. In their particular case, it was a 62% increase in profit from their ads once they instituted this on their ads and their landing page. In the specific way I'm going to mention in a minute, that this general formula that I found works the best. You can split test it different ways, but I've tested a bunch of different stuff, and this is basically the formula that works. In this situation, we were able to do it on a product by product basis. So when they're looking for a desk, okay, then the special promo this week only on desks, call for what the promo is, basically. That's the general gist. It's like your typical, we're running a special discount or whatever, but they aren't going to, what makes this strategy different, the grab bag strategy, is that you're not going to tell them what they get until they call. As a side note, a lot of car dealers and ships and stuff send out stuff through the regular mail, and you have to scratch off to see how much you'll get as a discount. The people use those because it works on the same psychology. You could think of it like that. It's like, or they're spinning a wheel. I know for a while now, and they've gotten, saturated, but they were pop-ups that you could have show up on your website, and you had to spin a wheel to see how much discount you would get. This is the same thing here, but it's not like in order to apply or to enter, if you will, that contest of seeing what you get, you got to call. Once you talk to somebody, you pretty much, as long as the person's a good salesperson, they pretty much can close them at a certain rate, regardless of how or why they're there. All you got to do is get them to call it twice the rate, half of which is just now because of exclusively wanting the discount. You can see how the math works out. Anyway, for them, the language was actually specifically changed a little bit based upon what I'm going to tell you in a minute. So it talks about see what the desk promo is going to be versus seeing what the promo is going to be by calling. 62% increase in profit. For non-eCommerce now, I have two specific examples there that I'm going to share with you. We had a plumber who got a 78% increase in profit, or if you want to call it, actually wrote down sales. It was top line revenue here. In this case, 78% increase in top line profit. School supplier I had specifically 62% increase in profit here, just to clarify. In that case, doing the same thing there. So it doesn't even have to be for a sophisticated product or service or market, if you want to say that. Somebody who has a leaky pipe, they actually will be taken in by this too, which is why I gave the example. It could be something that that they're going to buy anyway. Ultimately, they see the 4 ads on the top of Google. You always still want to, if they're looking for leaky pipe repair, you always focus on that first, which I'm going to explain in a moment. But beyond that, who are you going to click on if there's somebody else saying leaky pipe repair, assuming one or more of the other 4 that are there next to you? What the person has to decide who to click on as a whole. Are you going to go with this call for special discount next to the ad? Now you've given them a very specific reason of why to click on yours now. That should always be your goal. You should Google your keywords and see, if I were the customer, which ad would I click on most of the time? And if it's not like, I would be at least twice as likely to click on this ad versus this ad, you need to work on your ads. You can watch some of my other videos. This offer, generally speaking, will work just fine to be able to do that. And, like I said, 90% of the market's out there, you'll get some gain. So probably if you're fine with it, which you got to be obvious, like I said, not everybody is, could be the only thing that you need to do to be able to do that. If you have the highest click-through rates, Google charges as much as they can for the ads. If they charge too much, people drop out. So they kind of charge what, most people in the middle of the road in terms of getting the average amount of profit out of ads can afford. If you're way above them, you can assure that you're going to be making good money. That's all it really takes when it comes to PPC. So you got the plumber. In that case, it was just, though, we didn't actually say call about the leaky pipe special to find out what it is. It was just the same call for special offer in that one, unlike the school supplier that made that different call for the desk promo discount that we have this week. Last one, though, for an example here to show you how this works, we had a kitchen remodeler. So not as urgent of a sale as like the plumber, where we're specifically talking about services here, but it also worked there. And obviously in that market, also explain, this is a good example here because quality, obviously, and reputation is the bigger one. In that particular case, though, my point is here, I want to share with you that everybody wants a discount. Even rich people want a discount. You'd be surprised. Some rich people, they don't give a crap. I would fit that. I don't give a crap if I have to pay a little bit more. My time's more valuable. Just make more money. Which I think everybody should do, but it is what it is. Most people out there want something for nothing. Want a discount if they can get it, and it's not too difficult for most people to get. Therefore, if you throw that out there, special discount for remodel, call for special remodeling discount this week. That is going to be able to help you out if you're in that market and similar markets, or just, like I said, works 90% of markets out there in general. You'll have to test it to know for sure, but obviously what better advice can you get or ask for if I'm giving you something that can give you at least a double-digit increase in profit with a little bit of work here, and 90% success rate plus. In their case, though, they got a really big result increase, 133% increase in sales from their ads on that one. So that one was huge. Going into what I said, people want something for nothing. In that case, yes, I want quality, but I can't tell the quality from looking at the ads itself. So going back to what I said before, fundamentally, who are you going to click on? Everybody could say they're the best, but there's no real way to, you could say a lot of times we'll do for home services, BBB, A+ rating, stuff like that. That's true. But you can also do that, and because that's what works great in that market, you also could say call for the special discount. Now they have even more reason, and they'll get even more results than saying BBB A+ rated or 4.8 star score on Google, what have you. In local service markets, that's the general kind of combination that works great there, or the best for us in general. In case you're in that, there you go. There's a free, ready-to-go strategy to write your ads. It'll probably break through anything else that you could think of in general. Because we test hundreds of ads here for local services. We've fundamentally find a combination that works for most markets. With small nuances there, that's what we have. Where we tweak it a little bit market to market still, but in general, that's the formula. Anyway, now with all that said, what's the actual strategy you can use to walk away from this video to do this for yourself without having to think too hard and get most of the results that you would get out of the strategy in general? 80% of the results you're going to get out of it, given that I can't write a specific ad for your specific market. Like I said, it's going to be a little different for each market based upon what category you're in, but get most of the results right away, see that it's working, and maybe not do anything more and say, I'll take 80%, who cares about the rest, which can be fine for you. It's up to you how hungry you are. But here's the strategy. For Google search ads here, respectively, by the way, this could work for any display advertising, Facebook, where you can use this call for special pricing or call for special offer, call for special discount, whatever you want to say, and it'll work and increase the click-through rate on any of those display ads. Any display ads you have that get a higher click-through rate, if you don't know already, that decreases cost per click directly and then therefore increases your profit from those. So it can work on any PPC ads too. I talk about Google search ads because that is what most people are interested in. So respectively, here's the formula for writing a Google search ad if you want to actually, you're fine with taking on this particular strategy to be able to get, like I said, 80% of the results you would get without having to test it for your own market. So first of all, so here's the strategy. You have 3 headlines and then description. Now, if you've watched my videos before and you're a subscriber, I always say that you want 1 keyword for every ad group and no more. Why? Because you can now handwrite an ad for every keyword so that you can ask what the user wanted for that keyword and make sure you have a laser targeted ad for them, because that's what the user wants ultimately. So you serve them more, you get more out of it. And you can also predetermine where they should go on your site also at the same time. Along with that, because that blows, having multiple keywords in one ad group out of the water completely. So if you want to, beat everybody else, that's your starting point, which will usually by itself almost put you there in less competitive markets. You start with that though as a base. You're always going to start out with regurgitating the keyword in the headline. If they are looking for school desks for sale or school desk wholesale, we'll say school desk wholesale. Okay, we'll put school desk wholesale in the very first part in the first headline, and then if we could fit it, special offer today. There's a thing called an AIDA model of writing ads that I always use, and which you should use if you want pretty easy to get, easy to follow and consistent results. Where A stands for attention, I is interest, D is desire, the last A is action. The first thing you got to do in order to get your click-through in your ad is to flag people down. Hey! So they'll look at it. And you can get that attention by regurgitating the keyword back at them. Usually you're going to write as close to the keyword they typed in as possible. If they type in school desk wholesale, I'll probably write school desk wholesale. If they have school desk wholesale for sale, I can't fit that. I'll change it slightly, school desk wholesale. It doesn't have to be the exact thing, but you do have to think about it keyword by keyword and write what you think is going to work best there. Sometimes you'll shrink it down. Sometimes you'll cut out words. Sometimes you'll do like wholesale school desks. So you don't use dynamic headline, dynamic keyword insertion to make sure the keyword is in the headline. That sucks. Handwrite an ad. Yes, it takes some time, but the results are amazing. But the first thing you do is you start out with that. That's not going to change. And then you're going to get their attention by saying, you were looking for school desk wholesale? School desk wholesale. Hey. And then special offer today. So obviously, if that happened at a swap meet and you were looking for school desk wholesale, there would be no other better way to get your attention, right? To build interest, we're talking about the second headline now. We're at the second part of that AIDA formula. For first-time customers only. So, hey, I'm a first-time customer. Now you've got my interest completely here. I feel special now. I think now there's a compelling reason why I should continue to read on here, more so than there was before. We get to the D letter in the AIDA model, which is desire. That's where we're going to build our burning desire. They absolutely we got them. We have, they have to feel like they're going to call because they hate the unknown. I should have also said at the beginning here, they hate the unknown, but also they hate missing out on something and they hate losing something. You can look this up for yourself. People are twice as likely to take action to prevent losing money than they are to gain it. So therefore, when you write negative, a lot of times when you write ads that are negative based, don't get ripped off, it works twice as good as buy quality, roof services. The don't get ripped off by other roofing companies will get twice the click-through because people don't want to lose for that exact reason I gave you. If people see you have special pricing for first-time customers, I'm a first-time customer, special price. call for special pricing. You got me. I have to call it and at least find out, because it's really just eating into my side to not know what I might be losing. They're going to think about it as what they're losing, not what they're potentially gaining. More so, which is also going to get them. They don't like the unknown. They want to know, there's a good chance I could be losing something here. I got to at least find out what it is. I got to. Then you got them by the cojones then at that point. To finish it, though, to close the sale on whether or not that person clicks through, because you're trying to still get them to click through at the highest rate you can, because that's going to get you the most profit out of your ad spend per dollar spent. You go into the description here. Limited time special, 2-day shipping times, supplies limited, call now. Call now being the call to action. The last part of the AIDA model is action. So what you're trying to get the user to finish taking action. You've earned their attention and got their interest enough and understand exactly what they're getting from you and why they should want it and why it's different. Now they have to know what to do, and you finish selling them on clicking through by telling them exactly what to do and why you're doing it if you can at the same time. So why they're doing it, we're only running this for a limited time, okay? 2-day shipping times, I usually add in there a little bit of a differentiator, what makes us different. If I know it's a really hot idea or topic for my market in there, but realistically, it's just limited time special, or if you want to get even better results, just to end of March, okay? And then it could be just a limited time special, just to the end of March if I'm in March. Call now. Then once you've done that, of course, in April you've got to update your ads. You make a new ad and you just update from March to April. As sketchy as that is, that works extremely well. So it's up to you if you do it. And now they understand this offer must be good, because if they're only offering it for a short time, it has to be even better than I thought already, which you got them by the cojones even more than. So you can say, I think there's a thing called false scarcity, where not only do you want to make people think you're building urgency by making people think it's only for a limited time, but you can also say supply is limited, which will make them feel like if they don't do it now, they're going to miss out and they're going to lose it. Which the more you can get them to act now versus later, the more sales you're going to get, because as people procrastinate, they forget, they spend the money, or blow the money, I should say, on something else that somebody else convinced them to buy, spend their money on whatever. They could damn well intend on buying when they get paid on Friday, but then they get diverted, a million different other ways. So you want to capitalize on that sale now. As much as people, you don't have to hard sell people, but you're giving them a reason why, if you do it now, you're better. That's your goal. So it could be that you say limited time special ends March 31st, call now. If you want to test out limited time special ends March 31st, supply is limited, call now, and you feel comfortable with the supply is limited, you could say that'll generally get you more results. And then on top of that, if you want to say what your key differentiator is, why you're the best, you can also put that in. Then that may or may not actually get you even more results in terms of click-through rate. All we have to do is get the click-through rate up higher. That'll automatically translate into more profits. That's all we're doing with this. But this is a very, very easy way, consistent way to get more money out of your ads. If you're not doing anything that has an offer in your ad, you're automatically switching to having an actual offer. Instead of just saying we sell desks, but we sell desks, there's 2-for-1 sale or whatever. That'll get you 100 to 200% increase in click-through rates, generally speaking. As long as you mention that you always want to say how long it's good for, and why you're offering it. It's good at the end of March. It's for St. Patrick's Day sale. You'll get 100 to 200% increase anyway. Once you start talking about call for special pricing and adding that in there, you're talking about another, 100% on top of that potentially. So if you're not using an offer today, you should. And when you do an offer, I gave you the basic dynamics of what you want to do. People want to know why you're offering it and how much it's going to be, which in this case, we're baiting them a little bit. That's what makes this even more effective, or can make it more effective. And, why you're offering it, so they know specifically you say St. Patrick's Day sale, because I'll believe that you're only offering it this month if you tell me that why you're offering it, which is because of St. Patrick's Day. So that's my go-to, is to say 10% off for St. Patrick's Day ends March 31st as a general offer to get my click-through rates on my ads. Now we're going to be able to say St. Patrick's Day discount, call for special pricing. We're going to do a little bit more work, put in more work by talking to people, but getting, potentially another 100% increase in click-through rates that we could have got just saying what the discount code is, and here's what the discount is, and then offering a discount code where you can use to check out on if you're e-commerce in general, okay? For your e-commerce people out there. So there's the general ad formula that you could use today to use this strategy. The other part of, in general, what makes this strategy work is once you get them on the phone, whether you're e-commerce, you're getting them to call, or you got services, is whatever you give them as far as special pricing on the phone, it's only good for then, so they can't procrastinate. So you could say, like the advertising says, it's only good till the end of the month. So what I'll give you here, I'm going to give you this special discount. But it's only good till then, or obviously another variant you could do is say it's only good for the call, or you call back, you have to talk to me. If you don't get a hold of me, you can leave a message and I'll try to call you back and make it seem custom that way. So there's multiple angles you can go with it, but it's only good while basically they're talking to you, because if you're not using a discount code here, you're getting the amount off by talking to the person. So the idea, though, no matter what variant you do use there, they're ultimately going to think that if I don't buy it now, maybe I'll call back and I'll talk to somebody else and they won't know what we talked about. I should buy it now, which is part of the magic of what actually delivers these numbers here. Okay? So with that said and out of the way, landing page. Now, how do we implement this going forward? You got the click through your landing page. What do we do on our landing page to exploit this at the maximum level possible now that we're spending the time to do it? For non-e-commerce, or basically services, you're talking about on your landing page, above the fold, before you scroll down, as they call it, above the fold, you want all the same general things you said here on the landing page. You're just regurgitating it to them. Anytime that you have your ads match what's above the fold on your landing page for services and also products, you're going to get higher conversion rates automatically. Why? Because they're assured right away they hit the page that the ad wasn't just BS baloney, auto-generated bullcrap, or bait and switch. They're actually going to get that. So pretty much, and because this offer is so good, and just in general for this offer, if you just above the fold for a service company focus on that exact offer and have a dedicated landing page, that's all it does is focus on this one offer and just getting them to call for the special price, you'll get the most out of it. And specifically what you want to do, you can try over other things, but that's the go-to I have, and I usually make the most money that way, so you can do it whatever you want. So if you're an e-commerce company, though, here's how you do this. It's quite a bit different. You're going to put on your landing page at the top of the description area pretty much what I've said here. So it's similar to the service campaign, service product guys, or service providers out there. Sorry. What you're going to do, you're going to regurgitate it above the fold. For the e-commerce, you're going to put it at the top of the description. So you have your description, you're just going to push it down, you're going to have it like kind of above here. I would even put like asterisk, 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 and then your text describing this, and then end it asterisk, 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 and then a space, and then the description. So anybody who actually is interested enough to get to the description section will absolutely always see it. And you'll have a specialized number for them to call. So it'll like, ooh, they have a special number. I believe it's really special now. Again, the more you can make it seem realistic, the more they're gonna act on it, because a lot of times people do this stuff and they're not, they're just running a sale all the time, that, and people know this. So you have a dedicated number. You can have a tracking number that you set up just for this process. You could, if you wanted to experiment with a vanity number that's like special whatever, that would be a way to get this a little bit more results out of this. I've never actually tried that yet. But they have a number, so between those asterisks, you have a number for them to call, and that could just route, if you use a call tracking program like CallRail, you could just have that call route into your regular sales line anyway. Just, you're doing it for the fact that it looks more special. More special, seems more trustworthy, they'll act on it more. And you get on the phone with them and they say, hey, I seen your ad, and on the site it said call for special pricing. Okay. Then you talk to them. Your goal, the longer you keep them on the phone, the more likely they're going to buy. Of course, you have to feel out and see if people are wasting your time, because you only have, there's a fine line there. But I know this because I figured this out myself many years ago. You want to keep them talking. The more that they talk, the less likely they're going to go back and click on something and buy something else, because you've drained all their energy already. So you just get them talking. Talk about, oh, what's your problem? Actually, you know what? Desks are a funny thing. And then you go through trying to keep them on the phone. You definitely have to give them obviously something, throw them a bone on the discount offer. But there'll be so many more people that call now that even if you have to offer them an extra 10% off, and for a lot of guys and gals, they're only offering 10% off if they're buying and spending over $100, which is one way to make sure you're not, with your tight margins, you're going to lose out. You can also offer a flat amount off. We're only offering $50 off. Okay? And do it that way. You could do buy 10, get 10. There's a million ways that you could structure that to make sure, or basically find the sweet spot between what you're offering too much or too little. A lot of times you can offer less, as we've found, and still get the same response, and so you're basically just throwing away margin. But a lot of times if you're not offering enough, you think 5% will do it, 10% will double your results, and it's worth it to do that, and so you should go there. So you have the special number there, and respectively, you can have that, right away, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, Corey, I don't want to offer special pricing and talk to a million people about this that are going to my site. Very easily, you can set things up, which you should do realistically here, to where that, on your description, like I told you to put that on the top line there about what the call for special pricing or call for the special offer, what have you, whatever you're using and testing at the time, of which version, the way that you're actually saying it, with special pricing being the default go-to that usually works the best, that you could have it only show up if they've clicked on an ad, specifically a non-brand ad. You can do this with a program called Visual Website Optimizer. Also, Optimizely is one. They're kind of expensive, like $300 a month. But with those programs, it'll let you, generally it's for site testing, split testing your website. You can actually have that message show up on the top of every description page by having some general logic built in there, to where, one day it's not there. The next day, every description throughout your whole site has that line put in there about call for special pricing at the top of the description. And then you can actually, on top of that, you can have it only show up for certain traffic sources. You can literally have it say that if it doesn't say, and it pulls it from the URL, after the URL, it'll say question mark and like underscore source equals PPC. It will not show up unless you've clicked on a PPC ad, and also further question mark underscore campaign equals non-brand. And you would have to tag your campaigns as non-brand in the URLs. and I won't get too much into that. Just look into UTM tags, and Visual Website Optimizer could help you with this, to where if they don't click on a non-brand PPC ad, they're not going to see that, okay? And you can actually see, if you want, and you're not fully sold on this, it'll show up only half the time for half the people who click on a PPC non-brand ad. So you can see what the difference is in the amount of people who call and how many sales you get for every click, okay? Respectively. So if you want to test it, you can. Obviously, you can custom code something on your site that can do something similarly without paying Visual Website Optimizer. And so it's up to you. But that's what I would recommend there. On top of that, though, there's also a program called, or a software called, some people call it HelloBar, some people call it something else. I'm sure you've seen it before. At the very top of the screen, they have about the top centimeter of the screen. When you go to the site, it drops down, and it's you can have a message there. I'm sure you've seen this before. Google HelloBar if you want. But the same thing with that as with the Visual Website Optimizer. You can have a message that just shows up for certain traffic sources. So if they didn't click on a non-brand keyword from your PPC campaigns, the HelloBar won't show up. But you'll definitely, absolutely notice it right when you hit the page. I usually recommend red because that color works the best with white text. And because it draws your attention to it the most, it's still also readable. And usually sale ads use red because that usually performs the best. And there's a reason for that. The people didn't just do it for random, no reason or randomly. And say, the same, what we have here. Special for, if you wanted to go all the way with it, the holiday season, and first-time, or special for first-time customers only, good to the end of the month only, call for special pricing, there you have it, and then you have a phone number up top. So similar, what you would just, basically the same thing you put in your description, you can have in your HelloBar, okay? So when they click on your ad and they see everything you're offering them here for the product that they searched for, they get to the page, they will always see the HelloBar, and they'll feel like comfortable. Yes, I know they're not baiting and switching me here. And of course, if they don't actually notice it right away, it's for sure the description, because they're always going to read the description if they're actually going to buy, and it's there. So I recommend both places, because that's what, in general, what we found works the best. But certainly you can only have it conditionally show up just for non-brand PPC traffic. And what I would recommend starting out, as long as just in general, what we would do. And you can test it for yourself and see if it works for you. I always know it will work if the client's willing to do it. And so I don't even test it at this point, okay? I just know my strategies work. We always got to test it starting out. I already did that hard work for you, so to say. So in general, that's how the school supplier got their increase in results. They did that exact thing, HelloBar, description update. And then for the plumber and the kitchen remodeler, it was the same thing. The landing page just has a specialized landing page. The above the fold basically just pounds the fact that we're offering a special offer today. It's only for first-time customers, or it's only good for the end of the month, for St. Patrick's Day, whatever, and then you got to call for the special pricing. Okay, so respectively, that's the formula that you're going to use here. With all that said, hope that this made a lot of sense and you're able to use this and start making a lot of money with it. Your PPC campaigns are doing okay now. They'll start doing probably very good or extremely well once you've applied this simple thing to your campaigns. That's pretty not only safe and consistently works, but easy to do. That moving forward, I have a lot of other PPC strategies on this channel that can also make you a good deal more on your money from your ads, and which can absolutely put you in the top spot in your market, which you'll be making more money from PPC than anybody else, and therefore, on top of that, be able to make enough money from your ads. They'll be efficient enough that it'll guarantee you can actually make profit from ads, recycle your money back into your ads, and therefore grow your spend and build a multi-million-dollar a year business for your company just by taking and recycling profits into a bigger ad campaign spend and build your campaign up like we traditionally do here at the agency, one step at a time, and as is all the big people in your space that you see advertising did themselves. Nobody started out where they're at. They built it up generally 80% of the time the way that I just described. You should check those out. I have a blog actually at guaranteeppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build my campaigns the way that I build them here to guarantee our clients' results. If you'd like to see information along those lines, I have it there. If you have any questions about my strategy here, things that you think I should have covered or didn't, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel within just a day or two time. And apart from that as well, hope you enjoyed this video and again, make some good money from it. Hope to see you on my next video in another day or two that comes out.